What's up, this squad? Back with another video. I seen the title was gonna make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. Y'all see it right here. Now listen, I feel like Jessica Tarlov has definitely been on one. I feel like she's definitely been on one, and I don't know what it is when it comes down to Jessica, and others. I feel like a lot of the things, especially when I first started doing these videos, I don't know. I don't know how hard it is to just have that common sense and to just think for a second. Not to be in denial, but just to think and realize what's truly going on. Check it out, y'all.
Thing that was not mentioned in this autopsy was the state of Joe Biden, the president of the United States, who seemed confused.
They couldn't even get the autopsy right, let alone failing at the entire campaign. Yes, look, I expect nothing less from the Democrats, and nothing could be more illustrative right now than these two postures. So you have the president, he's campaigning, he's in a swing state, he's talking about taxes and expanding the suburban map, he's talking about the cost of living, he's talking about the future. This is a forward way of speaking, and it means that this is a party, meaning the Republicans, that are prepared to govern. And then you contrast that with the posture of the Democrats, which can't get even right the autopsy, meaning of the dead body of their campaign. They are squabbling over not only the messaging, but over the ideology of what it all meant. And they had to pay millions of dollars just to learn and reveal exactly nothing because they still aren't listening to their constituents. We knew every step of the way exactly why they were failing, because they weren't listening to rural American, to everyday ordinary Americans, to anyone that believes in a hard-earned dollar and not wanting to fork over all your taxes to a bloated government that somehow prioritizes illegal immigrants over yourself and doesn't acknowledge safety issues in your own neighborhoods, let alone talking about foreign policies. And as people are emphasizing Gaza there, like AOC and Ro Khanna, yes, and what about the Gaza tumor that was here? The 18,000 terrorists flooding across our borders, the 300,000 kids that were missing. I mean, it is preposterous to me that the forest for the trees was lost on the Democrats, and now they still can't see how to get themselves out of it. So I think at the end of the day, voters clearly know which ship has been sinking for quite some time and which will continue to have a forward-thinking approach. And that's going to be the one with the North Star is going to be the one that they're going to hitch their tail to.
Jess, I mean, obviously being anti-Trump is not enough. The Democratic Party has moved very left.
Jessica, she's hot right now.
Is there a way to bring it back into a more moderate Democratic Party of our parents? Or is it, it's out of the box and that's it?
It's a new kind of moderation. That's how you win in these swing districts where Democrats have a number of enormous pickup opportunities. And even in the 2024 election, moderate candidates performed really well. Like we have Senator Ruben Gallego and Senator Alyssa Slotkin. They won even though Kamala Harris didn't in those states. So yeah, it looks different certainly than your parents, even than my parents, but it doesn't mean that there isn't room within the tent for the Abigail Spanbergers of the world. And
no, so listen, what Jessica doing right now is that she's trying to make things sound good. She's trying her best to make things sound good, and she's not sounding right. When it comes down to it on what it is it's the simple fact of you have individuals, obviously back then, because I've said this before. And I'll keep saying it and keep saying it and keep saying it. What I find crazy about this whole thing is the simple fact that you have so many individuals that constantly, and it sucks that it's like this, but I've said this before, y'all. Things have changed, and it's almost like it ain't got solved. Mind you, what was it, 3 or 4 years ago I started these videos, about 3, something like that. Even before then, I noticed certain things. Obviously, I asked my dad questions. I come from a Democratic family. I asked my dad questions and this, that, and the other. And even with him, it can be things that's understandable and this, that, and the other. It just seems like when it comes down to now, today, things are so bad things are so bad, not even just within the supporters, but the individuals that's in office. It's more so of them actually listening to supporters, but for the wrong reasons, or doing things for the supporters, but for the wrong reasons, if y'all catch what I'm saying. And it's definitely crazy that they're doing that, and it's sad that they're doing that, and it's not making anything better. And for Jessica to sit here and continue to try to make it sound good is very insane to me. It's very insane to me. And she ought to be ashamed of herself for even doing that. Sometimes it's okay to give out that truth, or not even to be mean or anything, but to I ain't gonna say like to lose, but I guess you can. It's okay, you know, to not be right. It's okay to just let that truth be out. You know what I mean? Like and I feel like she's not doing it. She's trying to fight it, and she can't at all.
Or on Mom Donnie's, to listen to the rhetoric around which party knows what's going on. Why are Republicans losing all of the elections in the Trump era? They're winning. MAGA candidates are winning intra-Republican primaries, and Trump's out there gloating about that, like what he pulled off in Thomas Massey's district. That's a Trump plus 35 district. Talking about huge wins in Virginia and in New Jersey. I think we flipped 30 legislative seats the Democrats have now. There's real talk of having Rob Sand as the governor of Iowa. Greg Abbott, behind closed doors, is talking about how a Democrat could win statewide in Texas at this point.
And they say, always say that it never happens.
Sure, maybe it doesn't. But I don't know why Greg Abbott then feels like he has to be talking about that possibility unless Donald Trump went out there and endorsed an unelectable person in Ken Paxton, who is so morally bankrupt and gross, impeached by his own party. I mean, listen to Brian Kilmeade talk about him. Donald Trump on the campaign trail. Yes, please, can I have some more? Today, you know, telling people you have more money in your pockets when nobody thinks that, except the richest Americans at this point. You know, the weird stuff, again, about the cognitive tests and how he's acing things that they give to people who've had traumatic brain injuries. No one knows there's a B in the word dumb. We all know there's a B in the word dumb. And he is cratering support with core constituencies. In the Fox poll, amongst Republicans, non-MAGA GOP, white voters, rural Americans, approval in the mid-30s, 71 disapprove of the economy. He's minus 52 on handling inflation. And guess what? There are no legislative accomplishments for the Republicans. Josh Hawley's admitted it. There's a big Politico piece about this. I love this from a GOP Senate aide. The so-called victories, that's what I'm talking about, this, you know, getting Thomas Massey out over the last couple of weeks are just a mirage. They're self-owns. Gas is up 45% due to the president's decisions to go to war with Iran. And
I want y'all to see something right quick. I ain't even got to say nothing.
Just a mirage. They're self-owns. Gas is up 45% due to the president.
Look how everybody looking at her. She's smiling. She's smiling. He's looking over like, do y'all hear this crap? You got Tyrus right here. Confused, like what is she talking about? Like, does she hear herself talk? Like it literally is wild to me.
President's decisions to go to war with Iran, and he's focused on the ballroom and his slush fund. They couldn't do the reconciliation bill because he's like, oh, there are very fine people came in on January 6th and they deserve compensation.
Tyrus
Tina Peters, can please make her the spokesperson.
Tyrus is
really
about to jump out of his
There's another word with a B that I would like to add to that, and it's in the front. Listen, I did the math.
Tyrus?
I'm talking about the Democratic Party.
She's heated.
I'm talking.
Look how mad she is. Tyrus then called her that on the low. I don't know if y'all missed it. Check out what he said.
I'd like to add to that, and it's in the front.
Can please make her the spokesperson.
Tyrus is
really
about to jump out of his
There's another word with a B that I would like to add to that, and it's in the front. Listen, I did the math.
Tyrus?
I'm talking about the Democratic Party. They spent $10 million on a 190 page. That's $53,000 a page. $53,000 a page with typos and BS, and they never. It's very simple. They could have done it, and it could have just used F words to describe it: failure, fraud, felonious stuff, like fake. They tried to sell the American people a bill of goods that wasn't there. They tried to convince us we didn't know what a woman was. They tried to convince us that if your daughter wears her hat backwards and plays in the mud, that she knows to go to surgery. There is a million things. Also, who was running the country? Because we had a president who didn't know what time of day it was. At one point, wandered off into the woods, had to have a Easter bunny to get him through everything. Where was the real report? Should have named names. Who was running the country? Who was making these decisions? Because it certainly wasn't Biden. Nobody. The same cast of characters are still pulling the strings for the Democratic Party, and I feel bad for Democrats, moderates who believed in what the institution was, because it's been taken over by these socialists.
And let me tell y'all something to add on to that. Because there's a lot of people that always say, you know, obviously that's on the left, that'll say, oh well, supporters of President Trump don't hold him accountable, or they don't take accountability in this. Then yes, I see it a lot, and I have to tell people sometimes on my channel. Sometimes it's even you know, that's watching. Sometimes it's not, but I literally have to tell people on my channel, just trust the process. Y'all hear me? I always say just trust the process. Everything gonna be, because so many people will go and take that route, be like, what is President Trump doing? I mean, I kind of see what he's doing, but I'm not really feeling, you know, and that's what it is. With Biden, they never did that. They never did that. And that's what bothers me, is that they knew how his health was. They knew those things, and then they put him in that debate, and they seen how it was. And they already, the thing is, they already knew how Biden was. That's the thing. They knew how he was at the end of the day. But they seen that the world seen that, and they quickly changed up. And that right there is just crazy to me. And I feel like right then and there, I truly feel like within that debate, and not only that debate and seeing his answers and seeing how he acted, but even before then and seeing all the videos, everybody on social media saying this about Biden, I truly feel like, and then my thing is, I truly feel like so many people who support individuals on the left, I truly feel that they should have easily seen that for themselves and not mess with them. They should have left them alone. Because, and I say that, and I don't try to pull people away, you know, for parties and tell y'all who to vote for, to support, but I feel like that showed you everything. And it's not the simple fact of Biden being like that in the debate, or Biden having his health like that. It's because they knew about all of that, and they wanted him to continue to go in the run. So y'all know, and seeing of who would be in control about that. And that's just crazy. Me personally, I feel like that's just crazy. I truly feel like that's crazy.
Fraudulent people. We're seeing all the fraud in the country. And where is it? It's always in Medicaid. It's always in places where the homeless, always people who need help, their saviors are the one who are fraud. $10 million for a report. How much? Look, all these papers we just made. Look, my fan mail stuff. What's that? 600 grand. I mean, that's ridiculous. And you don't need a paper for that. The president, right? The reason why you got your behinds kicked was because President Trump spoke plain talk to the American people. You want to be mad at somebody? Be mad at the American people. It wasn't Trump who didn't vote for himself in a landslide victory. The American people.
Exactly.
And remember,
Exactly.
Kamala.
Exactly. Hold on. Let me play that again. For individuals that didn't hear that.
Look, my fan mail stuff. What's that? 600 grand. I mean, that's ridiculous. And you don't need a paper for that. The president, right? The reason why you got your behinds kicked was because President Trump spoke plain talk to the American people. You want to be mad at somebody? Be mad at the American people. It wasn't Trump who didn't vote for himself in a landslide victory. The American people did.
And remember,
Talk to him.
Kamala.
Talk to him.
She spent what, $1 billion in just a few months. Anyway.
And half it went to the salary of the celebrities that showed up.
Oprah got a few, but she said it wasn't for her.
Guys, we lost. Yeah, we've accepted.
But the thing is, Oprah even seen for herself how Kamala was. I don't know if y'all caught that video. Put Oprah LifeWithRecklezz and y'all probably find it. Oprah seen for herself on the answers that Kamala gave, or the answers that she couldn't give.
Celebrities that showed up.
Oprah got a few, but she said it wasn't for her.
Guys, we lost. Yeah, we've accepted it. Move on.
You have not accepted it.
That's the thing.
I feel like if they have accepted it, or if Jessica Tarlov accepted it, she wouldn't have gave all those excuses and said what she said. She would have easily took that accountability and ran with it, but she didn't. But now she's in that mode, like that little kid, like, oh, it want to be, you know, a sore loser, and she's acting like that.
A few months.
And then
Anyway.
and Hefner went to the salary of the celebrities that showed up.
Oprah got a few, but she said it wasn't for her.
Guys, we lost. Yeah, we've accepted it. Move on. We get it. That's the thing. Relitigating this,
No,
we're
but you
already
don't
mad
get
enough
it,
at
'cause
ourselves.
The only thing that's polling worse than the polls that you just cited is the Democratic Party.
Sure, the brand's in trouble. Why are you losing then to such losers?
I don't know it, but we haven't
Well,
we haven't
'cause
hit
the American
the midterm.
people
We haven't hit the
know they don't
midterms
have
yet.
more money.
Listen. You got to get to the midterms. And you got to get to the national
get ready.
elections. But if you're going to talk numbers, there's undeniably that the Democratic Party right now is polling someplace around Fidel Castro. I mean, come on. If those numbers don't lie, there's about 6 men someplace. I don't know where they are. Someplace in New York and L.A. that'll vote Democrat. The rest of the men in it. If you have a Y chromosome and you're voting for that party, check yourself. That's all I can say, because they hate your guts.
Be sure to
Y'all got it right here. Y'all let me know in the comments down below. I feel like I've talked enough, and y'all know me, and y'all know people get the comment and say, "Oh, Recklezz, you just talked the whole time, and this, that, and the other." Well, just like somebody said in comments today, you don't like the channel, kick rocks. You don't like the channel, just leave. That's all you got to do. Go to another channel. I love y'all. Make sure y'all hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love, everybody. Catch y'all next one.